A library of priceless books hidden in the labyrinths beneath the Kremlin.
Ivan the Terrible's library is really one of the great underground myths.
Throughout history, numerous artifacts of great value and importance have been lost to the ages. From legendary swords to gem-encrusted jewels, these items have captivated the imaginations of historians and treasure hunters alike. They whisper tales of bygone eras, lost fortunes, and unsolved mysteries, each one holding a unique story that has, over time, become a blend of fact, speculation, and myth. Number 1. The Honjo Masamune Sword. The Honjo Masamune represents not only a priceless piece of Japanese cultural heritage, but also one of the world's greatest missing treasures. This sword, an exemplary model of the famed Masamune blades, carries with it a heavy legacy of Japanese history and artistry. Forged by the renowned swordsmith Goro Neyudo Masamune in the 13th century, this sword is considered a masterpiece of the Kamakura period, embodying the pinnacle of Japanese weaponry. Masamune's blades are known for their distinct appearance and superior quality. The Honjo Masamune, named after the general Honjo Shiganaga, who took it as a prize in the 16th century after a fierce battle, was famed for its sharpness and the graceful patterns of the blade's tempered steel. Legend has it that its sharpness was such that falling leaves would be sliced in two as they touched its edge, a testament to the craftsmanship of its creator. The sword was passed down through generations of shoguns, eventually coming into the possession of the Tokugawa family, who ruled Japan during the Edo period. It remained a symbol of their power until the end of World War II. In a turn of events, the Allied forces ordered the surrender of all weapons, and the Honjo Masamune was turned over to a police station in Meijiro in December 1945. From there, it was supposedly handed over to a man identified only as Sergeant Coldy Bymore, which likely was a misinterpretation or misspelling of the name. The sword's trail ends there, vanishing without a trace. The loss of the Honjo Masamune is particularly significant given its status as a national treasure. It represents not just a monetary value, but a cultural loss that transcends generations. Its disappearance is a poignant reminder of the cultural dislocation experienced during the war and the subsequent occupation, with the sword's whereabouts still unknown to this day. Number 2. The Fabergé eggs. The Fabergé eggs, a series of opulent and intricately designed Easter eggs containing miniature surprises, are some of the most exquisite examples of craftsmanship from the Russian Empire. These eggs were made by the House of Fabergé, led by Peter Karl Fabergé, for the Russian imperial family from 1885 to 1917. Each egg was a unique artistic feat, combining precious metals and gemstones with the ingenuity of hidden delights. They were not mere trinkets, but profound demonstrations of love and the royal family's affluence. The tradition began when Emperor Alexander III commissioned the first Fabergé egg as an Easter gift for his wife, Empress Maria Fedorovna. Dubbed the hen egg, it was crafted from gold and enameled on the outside to look like a simple egg. However, when opened, it revealed a gold yolk, which in turn contained a multicolored gold hen that also opened to present a miniature imperial crown and a ruby pendant. This creation set the standard for the eggs that would follow, each more elaborate than the last. Of the 50 imperial eggs Fabergé crafted for the Tsars Alexander III and his son Nicholas II, 7 are considered lost to history. The Bolsheviks, who seized power in 1917, confiscated the imperial family's wealth, including the Fabergé eggs. While some eggs were sold to private collectors and museums, others disappeared in the chaos of the revolution, their whereabouts unknown to this day. Number 3. The Amber Room. The Amber Room, often dubbed the eighth wonder of the world, was a breathtaking chamber decorated with amber panels, gold leaf, and mirrors. Originally constructed in the 18th century in Prussia, the room's history is as intricate and mysterious as the craftsmanship of its walls. It was designed by German sculptor Andreas Schluter and constructed by Danish amber craftsman Gottfried Wolfram for the Prussian king Frederick I. Later in 1716, King Frederick William I of Prussia gifted it to Tsar Peter the Great of Russia as a symbol of peace between the two nations. Installed in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, the room covered more than 55 square meters and contained over 6 tons of amber. The Amber Room was a masterpiece of Baroque art and a treasure of inestimable cultural importance. Its panels consisted of several shades of amber, intricately arranged to create ornate floral and geometric patterns. It was further adorned with figures of angels and nymphs, giving it an ethereal and otherworldly charm. Visitors described the room as a sight to behold, with its golden glow and luxurious materials embodying the grandeur of the Russian imperial court. However, the Amber Room's fate took a tragic turn during World War II when it was looted by Nazi Germany. In 1941, as the German army advanced into the Soviet Union, the Amber Room was disassembled and transported to Königsberg, now Kaliningrad, Russia, for display in a museum. Its last known whereabouts date back to 1945, when the trail goes cold. Despite extensive efforts to locate it after the war, including speculation that it was hidden in a now-submerged bunker or lost at sea, the Amber Room has never been found. Number 4. The Lost Library of the Moscow Tsars. The Lost Library of the Moscow Tsars, also known as the Lost Library of Ivan the Terrible, is a legendary collection of rare books and manuscripts that has intrigued historians and treasure seekers for centuries. Said to have been amassed by Ivan IV, known as Ivan the Terrible, the library is believed to have contained ancient texts from Greece, Rome, and the Byzantine Empire, including works of philosophy, science, and magic that have since vanished from the historical record. The origins of the library trace back to the Grand Dukes of Moscow and were greatly expanded upon by Ivan the Terrible, who, despite his notorious reputation, was a keen patron of the arts and scholarship. It is rumored that the library included the precious texts of the Byzantine emperors, brought to Moscow by Sophia Palaiologina, Ivan III's wife and niece of the last Byzantine emperor. These texts would have been treasures of the intellectual world, containing lost knowledge of the ancient civilizations. The library's exact contents remain a matter of speculation, as its existence is documented only through historical references and not through physical evidence. Its disappearance is shrouded in mystery, with some believing it was hidden during the time of troubles in the early 17th century to protect it from the Polish invasion. Others theorize that the library was concealed somewhere within the walls of the Kremlin, its secret location lost over time. Number 5. The Patiala Necklace. The Patiala necklace was a stunning piece of jewelry that represented not only the opulence of the Indian Maharajas, but also the exquisite craftsmanship of the House of Cartier. Commissioned in 1928 by Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala, the necklace was one of the most extravagant items ever created by Cartier. It featured a cascade of diamonds, including the world-famous De Beers diamond, the 7th largest diamond ever found at that time, weighing an astonishing 234.65 carats. The necklace was a marvel of design, comprising 5 rows of diamond-encrusted platinum chains and a total of 2,930 diamonds. It was a fusion of Eastern and Western aesthetics, blending the traditional Indian love for lavish adornment with the Art Deco style that was in vogue in Europe. The centerpiece was the yellow De Beers diamond, which was set in a geometrically inspired setting, flanked by other large diamonds and Burmese rubies. The sheer size and brilliance of the necklace made it not just a piece of jewelry, but a statement of power and prestige. However, the whereabouts of the Patiala necklace became a mystery after it disappeared from the Patiala treasury after 1948. The last sighting of the necklace was in 1946 at a party in the Royal Palace of Patiala. After the Indian independence and the subsequent decline of the princely states, many royal treasures were sold or lost, and the Patiala necklace was among them. Number 6. The Florentine Diamond. The Florentine diamond is a lost gem of history, its fate as enigmatic as the play of light across its many facets. This gemstone, an immense Indian-mined diamond of 137.27 carats, was as famed for its unique light yellow color with a very slight green overtone as for its storied past. The diamond's cut, known as the double rose cut, with its 9 sides and 126 facets, was a marvel of its era, capturing and reflecting light in a kaleidoscope of brilliance. The diamond's journey through history is as rich and varied as the courts it adorned. It found its way from the hands of Indian moguls to the Habsburgs, becoming part of the Tuscan crown jewels. The diamond was notably owned by the Medici family and later by the Austrian and then the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. As a piece of the Habsburg crown jewels, it was set in the crown of the then emperor. The Florentine diamond was not just a symbol of wealth, it was a tangible piece of political power, representing the influence and might of the ruling dynasty. Its disappearance traces back to the aftermath of World War I, when the Habsburg dynasty fell, and their assets were liquidated. The last known owner of the diamond was Charles I of Austria, who reportedly took it with him when he went into exile in Switzerland. The true circumstances of its loss remain uncertain. Some say it was stolen, others that it was sold clandestinely to an unknown buyer. There are theories that suggest the diamond was cut into smaller stones to disguise its origins and sold separately, effectively erasing its identity. Number 7. The Irish Crown Jewels. The Irish crown jewels were symbols of the monarch's ceremonial presence in Ireland, representing both the grandeur and the complex history of British rule over the Irish Isle. Known officially as the jewels belonging to the most illustrious order of St. Patrick, they consisted of a star of the Order of St. Patrick, a badge, and 5 gold collars. Adorned with rubies, emeralds, and Brazilian diamonds, the jewels were not part of the regalia used at the coronation of British monarchs, but they were emblematic of the monarchy's order of knighthood in Ireland. The jewels were kept in a safe in the library of Dublin Castle, which was the administrative seat of the monarchy in Ireland. However, in 1907, just days before the scheduled visit of King Edward VII for the Irish International Exhibition, the jewels were discovered to be missing. The theft of the jewels was not just a loss of valuable artifacts, it was a scandal that rocked the British establishment and embarrassed the crown. Despite an extensive search and investigation, the jewels were never found. Numerous theories circulated regarding the culprits and their motives. Some speculated that it was an inside job, perhaps perpetrated by someone within the administration who had access to the keys to the safe. Others believed it was a nationalist plot to embarrass the British authorities. Over time, the list of suspects grew to include members of the Irish Republican Brotherhood, as well as high-ranking officials within the castle itself. Number 8. The Dead Sea Copper Scroll Treasures. Among the remarkable discoveries of the Dead Sea Scrolls, one stands out not for the religious or linguistic insights it offers, but for the tantalizing mystery it contains. The Copper Scroll. Unearthed in 1952 at the archaeological site of Khirbet Qumran, this unique scroll is unlike the others made of papyrus or parchment. It is inscribed on a sheet of copper and lists over 60 locations where significant amounts of gold and silver are said to be hidden. The Copper Scroll describes vast treasures, tableware, coins, and raw ingots, allegedly concealed at various sites, some within the ruins of Jerusalem and others in the surrounding countryside. These are not just incidental valuables, but constitute a colossal fortune that, if found, would be one of the greatest treasures ever discovered. The scroll's language is more practical than spiritual, reading like an ancient treasure map rather than a religious text, and includes detailed instructions that suggest a genuine intent to recover what was hidden. Scholars have debated the origins and authenticity of the Copper Scroll. Some suggest it details the wealth of the Second Temple, hidden away to protect it from Roman forces during the Jewish revolts. Others speculate that it is a record of the treasures of a Jewish sect, possibly the Essenes, who are often associated with the other Dead Sea Scrolls. Despite numerous expeditions and the use of modern technology, none of the treasures listed on the Copper Scroll have been recovered. The precise locations remain elusive, often described in terms that were likely clear to contemporaries but are cryptic to modern viewers. Moreover, natural disasters, construction, and historical changes in the landscape have altered the terrain, making the search even more challenging. Number 9. The Sarcophagus of Menkora. The sarcophagus of Menkaure is a relic shrouded in antiquity and mystery, tied to the legacy of one of ancient Egypt's most enigmatic rulers. Menkaure, the builder of the third and smallest of the Giza pyramids, was a pharaoh whose final resting place was meant to be an ornate sarcophagus, carved from a single block of basalt. This sarcophagus, though discovered within his pyramid, never fulfilled its intended purpose and has been lost to the depths of the sea, along with the ship meant to transport it to England. The sarcophagus was uncovered in 1838 by British explorer Howard Vyse, who was conducting excavations at the Giza Plateau. Vyse, recognizing the significance of the find, decided to transport the sarcophagus to the British Museum. It was placed aboard the merchant ship Beatrice in late 1838. Unfortunately, the Beatrice never reached its destination. It was reported lost in a shipwreck in the Mediterranean Sea near the coast of Cartagena, Spain. Despite the loss, no comprehensive search has been conducted for the shipwreck, and the sarcophagus remains at the bottom of the sea, assuming it was not plundered or destroyed in the aftermath of the sinking. The sarcophagus's disappearance has been a poignant loss for Egyptologists and historians, as it was one of the few royal sarcophagi from the Old Kingdom to have been found intact. Number 10. The treasure of the San Jose Galleon. The San Jose Galleon, sunk in 1708 off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia, is often referred to as the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. Laden with gold, silver, and emeralds from the mines of Peru, it was part of the Spanish treasure fleet, a convoy of ships tasked with transporting the colonial riches to the Spanish crown. Its cargo is estimated to be worth billions of dollars today, making it one of the most valuable shipwrecks ever lost to the depths of the sea. The San Jose's demise came during the War of Spanish Succession, when a British squadron engaged the Spanish fleet. The galleon, heavily armed and carrying 600 people, was hit by a British cannon and exploded. It sank quickly, taking its treasure and nearly all hands with it to the ocean floor. The loss of the San Jose was a heavy blow to the Spanish, both financially and emotionally, as it also carried nobility and a wealth of cultural artifacts. For centuries, the exact location of the San Jose remained a mystery, inciting legends and attracting treasure hunters from around the world. The Colombian government claimed the rights to the wreck, citing its cultural and historical significance, while private salvage companies and foreign governments also expressed interest, leading to lengthy legal battles over the treasure's rightful ownership. Number 11. The Treasure of Lima. The Treasure of Lima is a legendary hoard of Spanish treasure that is said to have been buried in the 1820s on the Cocos Island off the coast of Costa Rica. This treasure was purportedly composed of the riches of Lima, Peru, accumulated over centuries of Spanish conquest and trade. Fearing the city would fall to a wave of independence movements sweeping South America, Spanish officials decided to transport the wealth to Mexico for safekeeping. The cache is said to have included dozens of gold and silver statues, religious objects, and coins, amounting to a value well into the billions of dollars by today's standards. The treasure was entrusted to British sea captain William Thompson for transport. However, succumbing to temptation, Thompson and his crew killed the Spanish guards and sailed to Cocos Island, where they buried the treasure. They were captured but negotiated their lives in exchange for the treasure's retrieval. Thompson and his first mate were marooned on the island while the Spanish went to bring reinforcements, but when they returned, the men had disappeared, and the treasure with them. Numerous expeditions have since tried to locate the Treasure of Lima, but the island's dense jungle and expansive cave systems have rendered such searches nearly impossible. Some believe the treasure could still be hidden within the labyrinthine island, while others speculate that Thompson managed to retrieve it and that it was scattered around the world. Number 12. The Lost Leonardo, the Battle of Anghiari Painting. Leonardo da Vinci's The Battle of Anghiari is a lost masterpiece, believed to have been painted in the Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. Commissioned in 1503 to commemorate a Florentine military victory, the painting depicted a fierce battle scene and was noted for its dramatic intensity and the vigorous movement of its figures. However, due to Leonardo's experimental techniques, The paint began to deteriorate almost immediately after application, leading to its eventual disappearance. Giorgio Vasari, a 16th century artist and historian, later renovated the hall where the Battle of Anghiari was located, and may have covered the original work. Some researchers believe Vasari preserved Leonardo's painting behind a new wall he constructed, respecting the master's work too much to destroy it. Efforts to locate the lost Leonardo, including drilling tiny holes in the Vasari fresco, have been controversial and, to date, inconclusive. The Battle of Anghiari remains one of the art world's most significant losses. It is a work that is known only through copies and sketches, a testament to Leonardo's genius and the fragility of art. The search for the lost painting continues to be a subject of fascination and debate, offering the tantalizing possibility that somewhere within the walls of the Palazzo Vecchio, a Renaissance treasure lies hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. Number 13. The Crown Jewels of Ireland. The Crown Jewels of Ireland, also known as the Irish regalia, were emblematic of the monarch's ceremonial presence in Ireland, much like the Irish crown jewels previously discussed. Housed in Dublin Castle, these jewels included the St. Patrick's Blue Enamel Order of the Garter Star and a jeweled badge that was part of the insignia of the most illustrious Order of St. Patrick. Their loss, much like that of the Irish crown jewels, was a national scandal and a mystery that persists to this day. The jewels were last seen in the safe on the night of June 11, 1907. By the morning of July 6th, they had vanished, just before the planned visit of King Edward VII for the Irish International Exhibition. This theft was particularly humiliating for the British authorities, as the jewels were under the care of Sir Arthur Vickers, the Ulster King of Arms, who was responsible for their safekeeping. Despite a thorough investigation that led to the questioning of many staff members and a hefty reward for information, the jewels were never recovered. Theories abound as to the identity of the thief and their motivations. Some suggest that it was an inside job, perhaps to fund the Irish nationalist cause or to embarrass the British crown. The theft of the Irish crown jewels remains one of the most intriguing heists of the 20th century, a symbol of lost heritage and a reminder of Ireland's complex relationship with the British monarchy. Number 14. The Imperial Fabergé eggs. The Imperial Fabergé eggs, distinct from the earlier mentioned Fabergé eggs, were a series of Easter eggs created under the supervision of Peter Karl Fabergé for the Russian imperial family from 1885 to 1917. Each egg was an exquisite piece of art, crafted with precious metals and gemstones and containing a surprise. They were given as Easter gifts, a tradition initiated by Tsar Alexander III, who presented the hen egg, to his wife. Of the 50 imperial eggs, 8 are missing, believed to have been lost following the Russian Revolution when the Bolsheviks inventoried the Romanovs' treasures. The Bolsheviks may have sold the eggs to private collectors, or they may have been stolen and sold into obscurity. Since then, only a few of the missing eggs have had potential sightings at auctions or in private collections, but their exact whereabouts remain one of the great mysteries of the art world. The lost imperial eggs encapsulate the grandeur of the Romanov dynasty and the turbulence of the Russian Revolution. Their disappearance has captivated collectors and historians, with each egg being a unique artistic creation representing a significant period in Russian history. The Imperial Fabergé eggs are not just missing treasures. They symbolize the fall of an empire and the enduring allure of the Romanov legacy. Number 15. The Lost Nazi Gold in Lake Toplitz. The legend of the lost Nazi gold in Lake Toplitz is a tale that has captivated treasure hunters and historians since the end of World War II. Nestled in the dense forest of the Austrian Alps, Lake Toplitz served as a naval testing site for the German Navy. It is said that in the final days of the war, as the Third Reich faced imminent defeat, Nazi officials sank crates believed to contain gold and valuable assets into the lake's dark and cold waters to keep them from falling into enemy hands. The lore of the lake's hidden wealth stems from the confirmed recovery of counterfeit pound and dollar notes, part of the Nazis' Operation Bernhard, designed to destabilize the British and American economies through the circulation of forged currency. This discovery has fueled theories that there may be more than just paper money submerged in the lake's depths. Over the years, numerous expeditions have scoured the lake, driven by rumors of gold bars, precious artworks, and other riches rumored to be worth billions. The challenging conditions of Lake Toplitz have made explorations difficult. The lake is over 100 meters deep, with a bottom layer devoid of oxygen, preserving anything that may be lying there. Despite these challenges, the allure of the lake's potential secrets has persisted. Some divers have claimed to have seen crates and military equipment, adding to the mystery and speculation.